and welcome to a new video. This time we're going to look into AndroidXR, which was announced last week, and let's dive into it right now. So first we're going to visit the android.com/xr page, which is AndroidXR Reality Expanded, and when scrolling down, AndroidXR is an AI-powered operating system coming soon to headsets and glasses. It brings together digital information and the real world to help you watch, work, and explore. And the cool thing is that Android apps should, I guess, more or less work out of the box. I think the developers only have to opt in, and the huge focus on AI will also be very beneficial for tasks. And when scrolling down to the bottom, how can I start developing for AndroidXR? There is developer.android.com, and when clicking on Explore AndroidXR, you will be presented with 4 options: the Android Jetpack XR as integration for Android Studio, Unity in a package, OpenXR, and WebXR. While there's nothing to do with WebXR and OpenXR applications, the Android Jetpack XR and the Unity XR package will need a little bit of work, and let's look at that now. So the Unity OpenXR Android XR package is already here in a pre-release version with a lot of features that are already supported, hand tracking, full-weighted rendering, and many more. And it's very similar to the Unity OpenXR meta package, which is there for quite some while now, and it's also building upon the OpenXR implementation. And for Android XR, you will have to use Unity 6, AR Foundation 6.1 in the pre-release version, and OpenXR 1.13. And the setup is very similar to the OpenXR meta package. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And even the scene setup is very similar. There will be a little bit of clicking needed, no coding at all, more clicking, and as soon as you know what to import, everything will be very easy. So first of all, empty Unity project, URP empty template, remove the README assets, and then go to File, Build Profiles, switch to Android, switch platform, wait for the compiling to finish, go to Window, Package Manager, and we now want to import the AR Foundation 6.10 pre-release 3 or newer. So we're going to the AR Foundation page and change to changelog, and clicking on the link here will actually open the package manager, open link in the correct version with the correct text. And after clicking on install, it will install this version into a project and install the XR plugin management too. So let's check OpenXR 1.13 for the next step. Go to Edit, Project Settings, XR Plugin Management, and select OpenXR. Let's click on Fix All, and you see that nothing will happen. So go to Edit, add the interaction profiles for eye gaze and Oculus touch controllers. Here they are. And full-weighted rendering API to SRP foveation. That's looking good, but you see there is no OpenXR feature group yet, but we can click on Fix All again. Doesn't anything, so go to Standalone, click on OpenXR, Project Validation, and yes, adding the interaction profiles here too, the gaze profile and the Oculus touch controller profile. And let's see, everything's looking good, no errors here. And make sure to not activate 2 plugin providers as one, for instance ARCore and OpenXR, as this will result in a black screen when launching your project. So let's check the Android XR package. Click on the link, open link, wait for the package manager, click on install. That's looking good. Delete the main camera, we won't need it, and usually the docs tell us to click on XR and XR Origin for VR, but there is no XR Origin for VR yet. And the reason is very simple, we have to install the XR Interaction Toolkit from Unity, because this installs all the dependencies needed for building for VR, as AR Foundation itself is only for AR applications. And in the samples, import the starter assets and the hands interaction demo. Okay, that is just compiling. Wait a second. And yeah, fix all. And then import the hands interaction demo. Okay, nice. Project validation, fix all. It's looking good. And is installing the XR hands package now for us to use hand tracking. XR hands visualizer. Okay, we need to install the package. Just click on fix all. And that's looking pretty good. Go to graphics, choose mobile render pipeline asset. We want to build for mobile. This is looking good so far. And go to quality, change that to mobile too. And select the render pipeline asset and disable the terrain holds and HDR. And we have to disable post processing too, which is on the mobile renderer. Here we go, yes, and there is no renderer feature active. Yes, and on the render pipeline as PC renderer, remove the screen space ambient occlusion. Sometimes there is a warning that this is not supported. So if we're now looking at the project packages, we can still import the Meta OpenXR one. That's not imported yet. Search it, install it, so that we can test on our Meta device while building for OpenXR. And if we now check our project packages, there is AR Foundation, the right version. There is OpenXR for Android, OpenXR for Meta, the OpenXR plugin itself, XR hands, core utilities, interaction toolkit, and everything else that we need to build OpenXR applications in Unity. So let's check the player settings, make sure in resolution and presentation that the resizable activity is true, and on other settings that the Vulkan is the selected graphics API. We can also set the minimum API version to level 24. That's needed for AndroidXR, and I prefer the input system package. And when looking at the XR interaction toolkit page, going to tutorials, create the basic scene, we'll see that the XR origin will need quite a few objects for the controllers, the hands, locomotion, everything else, and that you can create this XR origin here by right-clicking in the hierarchy. So after the editor started, right-click XR, and now we have the XR origin for VR. But if we expand that, we see that only the main camera is here. But there is one cool thing, it added the XR interaction manager already, and we will need that after all. So deleting the XR origin and looking for the prefab, and actually the XR hands sample has the better prefab where the hands already are supported. Prefabs, no, that's not right. It's in the XR interaction toolkit, hands interaction demo, prefabs, and there is the XR origin, hands XR rig. That's the one we want to use. And here we see the main camera and the controllers and the hand, and that's actually the one we want. So selecting the main camera and adding a component called AR Camera Manager is important for pass-through. Without that we can't do the pass-through on our device. And let's see, edit project settings, project ready, OpenXR. Here is the feature book for AndroidXR and MetaQuest. And if we click on AndroidXR, we see that everything is selected and the camera has still a problem, as the clear flags are not set to solid color and alpha 0. And I recommend setting the solid color to black, as this may result in a blue tint. And going back to OpenXR, we see that this is basically everything we need. Or if we are clicking on MetaQuest, all the MetaQuest stuff will be enabled. We have to unselect the AndroidXR stuff, enable the hand tracking aim and the hand tracking subsystem for hand tracking to work. And with this change, we can now deploy to MetaQuest using OpenXR in Unity with XR Interaction Toolkit. When using AndroidXR and deselecting all the MetaQuest stuff except the hand tracking subsystem and deploy it to MetaQuest and start it, it will result in a black screen. So for actual testing, we will just need to stay either in the editor, we can just launch it here, and we'll see that nothing will happen except a warning for the XR subsystem. And for better testing, we will need something like the XR simulator, and for that we're just adding a grab interactable, make the cube 111 and move it 5 units to the front. And disable the gravity here. Okay. And there is a tool called the XR Device Simulator Window Package Manager. And let's select the XR Interaction Toolkit, and in the Samples section there is the XR Device Simulator. Just import it, open the folder and drag the prefab into the hierarchy. That's it. And now we can test our application within the editor, and I always like to add at least a visual warning to disable the simulator before deploying onto the device, as this will not work. You can also write a script for that, but for this tutorial with no coding, we'll just disable it manually before deploying. And if we're now starting our scene, the XR Device Simulator will start an overlay which allows us to control the scene with keyboard mouse. Looking around, switching to controller, grabbing, and we can test our scene. Same goes for the other controller hand. You can also walk around, go up, go down, and even test hand tracking. In my test, the hand tracking didn't work properly. I don't know why, I have to look that up. But after deploying, I checked again and the hand worked. We can see that in the end on the showcase video. But other than that, for testing, you can also test with the controller. So that's not an issue, at least for now. So now let's disable it. Go to Edit, Project Settings, disable all the AndroidXR stuff, and enable the MetaQuest stuff for testing on device. And then go to File, Build Profiles, Build and Run, attach a MetaQuest 3 or 3S, and you can see how it looks here. And that's it for this video. You can find the link to the GitHub repository in the description box, and as always, please like, subscribe and comment under this video if you liked it. Also feel free to become a channel member to get a few exclusive perks, but make sure to wait until January 2025 because there will be a few changes in the tier settings. There will only be one tier for channel members. So other than that, I hope you liked the video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.